The first half of 2026 has already passed. Let me show you what the real estate market in Reseda has done so far. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is on my website, one of my pages, and here is the first half of Reseda 2026. It'll start out by showing the median sale price of houses in Reseda. So here, starting January, it was 759,000, went up to 848, dipped to 800, went up to 845 and a half, down to 765, and for June, the last full month of sales data is $855,000. This is the median price. Okay, so if you do average, it's going to show a little bit different numbers. In general, median is more accurate, or perhaps a more realistic telling of values, so that's why I'm showing the median values. And here on the left, you can run alongside all these different data points you can look at, such as active listings. So you'll see January in the winter activity was low, and then it went up as we get into the spring. And now that we're getting into summer, it should stay around this level. So active listings means everything during that month that was active. So here you'll see new listings, and that just shows how many new listings were added each month. So you'll see the number is lower, and again, it's following the trend. In the winter months, it's a little bit lower, picks up a little bit in the spring, and then the summer we should get to the most activity for the year. Closed sales, you'll see again, is following the same trend. It's ramping up as we get into the summer. Pending sales as well. Days on market, this is something you should really pay attention to. So this is the average days on market. January is 91 days it took for a listing to get sold, meaning it went under contract. Doesn't mean that it necessarily closed, but that's when an offer was accepted and they opened up escrow and began the closing process. Except for January, everything is around 30, 34, 33 days. We had an anomaly of 16 days in May. But we're back to 32. So this is the average number of days it should take for a home to sell in Reseda. So if you're selling your house and it's going over this number, maybe something needs to be adjusted in your marketing, perhaps even your price, and then you should hopefully get an offer that's acceptable to you shortly after that adjustment. Month supply is a good number to know because it gives you a sense of which or who has the market. Is it a seller's market or is it a buyer's market? And if it's under 6, it's typically considered a seller's market because that means there's low inventory, low supply. So you'll see it's been consistently 3, and then in June it dipped down to 2. So that means it's edging closer or more strongly to a seller's market. Total sold volume shows you just the total number in dollars of how much real estate sold in Reseda. And you'll see here it went up the highest in June. Sale price, what we started with, 885,000, excuse me. Well, I'm sorry, that's average. It resets every time you change out. So median sale price, 855,000. Percent of list price is also good to know. How much of the original list price did sellers achieve? So in January, 97%, 99, 100, 98, 100, and 100. So 100 means they got their original asking price. They sold it for what they originally listed for. So this is good to know because then it gives you a sense of how are buyers reacting to the pricing that they're seeing of houses listed. And then sold per square foot. This is good to know too, especially if you're selling. This can give you an idea of what your home might be worth. Every house is different, so and depending on the condition and if it's been updated or needs some repairs, this can change. But you can use this figure and multiply it by the square footage of your house to get a very rough idea of how much your house is worth. Now, if you scroll down further, you can see a year by last year comparison. So here you'll see we're actually under. January is 3% less than 2025. This was 7% higher in February, and right about the same in March. 8% lower in April, 2% lower in May, and 2% higher than in June last year. And if you keep scrolling down, you can see some more specific details, or actually just in list price. I mean, in terms of actual numbers, and you can actually see the different houses and what they sold for, and a breakdown further of how the house is sold, or what price ranges house is sold at. In the website, you can continue down to see historical data last 15 years. So this is interesting to look at. Back in January 2012, which is the furthest this will go back, median price was $275,000. Fast forward 10 years to 2022, January, and it was 800,000. So that's about more than 2.5 times increase in 10 years. And you'll see it's pretty much consistently going up year by year. I mean, you'll have like dips here and there, month to month, but on a yearly basis, it's pretty much going up. Then we hit a peak here in April 2022, 890,000. It went down a lot for the next year. Then kind of went back up, and it's going back up. Here we hit another peak, August 2025, 910,000, and then it went back down to the 855,000 for June. For some reason, it's not showing. But in any case, you will see the real estate price trend in Reseda has continued to go up. There's month-to-month fluctuations. In general, if you're holding at least 10 years, you should do fine. Does it mean that another 10 years it's going to double in price or go up 2.5 times? We'll have to wait and see. There's no guarantee for that. But as you can see, in general, prices have been going up. And just to, as a reminder, we experienced COVID back in the early 2000s up until about 2003. I mean, we still have COVID, but everything was shut down to stimulate the economy. The interest rate was lowered a lot, which prompted a buying frenzy, and it was just kind of, what's the term, irrational exuberance. So if we have another situation like that, which could very well happen, it could spark another buying frenzy when interest rates get lowered to that level. It was like 2.5% was like the lowest. So, and right now we're like at 6.5%. So we'll have to wait and see. You can see this data at the link in the description. And if you have any questions or comment, feel free to drop them below. If this was helpful to you, share with someone you know who's interested in real estate in Reseda. And I'll catch you on the next one.